Barry the bear wanted a job. Not just any job, a job with adventure, excitement, danger. He had always dreamed of being more than just an ordinary bear. He wanted to be a hero, someone who made a difference. So when he saw the Help Wanted sign, his heart skipped a beat. He saw a Help Wanted sign. Royal Bodyguard, it read. Perfect, thought Barry. This was his chance to prove himself, to show everyone that he was more than just a goofy bear. He could be brave, he could be strong, and he could protect the king of the jungle. Inside the den, Leo the lion lounged on a throne of bones. He was magnificent. He was intimidating. He was bored. So, Leo yawned. The throne room was grand, filled with the echoes of past glories, but today it felt empty and dull. Leo's eyes scanned the room lazily, looking for something, anything to break the monotony. "You want to protect me?" Leo's voice boomed, filling the cavernous den. Barry, standing at the entrance, felt a shiver run down his spine. But he was determined. He had come this far and he wasn't going to back down now. Barry, trying to look brave, nodded enthusiastically. His heart was pounding, but he kept his chin up and his chest out. This was his moment, and he was going to seize it. Leo sighed. "Fine," he said. The lion's voice was heavy with skepticism, but also a hint of curiosity. Could this bear really be the one to break his boredom? Only time would tell. Just try not to break anything. Leo's warning was clear, but Barry was too excited to fully grasp it. He was already imagining all the adventures they would have together. Barry, beaming with pride, saluted. He felt like a soldier ready to take on the world. This was the beginning of a new chapter in his life. His paw knocked over a stack of bones. Leo rolled his eyes. The sound of the bones clattering to the ground echoed through the den, a stark reminder of Barry's clumsiness. "This is going to be a long day," he mumbled. Leo's patience was already wearing thin, but there was something about Barry's enthusiasm that made him hold back his frustration. Maybe, just maybe, this bear would surprise him. Barry followed Leo everywhere. He tripped over vines, he bumped into trees. No matter how hard he tried, Barry just couldn't seem to get the hang of navigating the dense jungle. Every step he took seemed to lead to another mishap. Leo, the majestic lion, often found himself looking back to check on his clumsy friend, shaking his head in mild exasperation. He accidentally sat on a warthog. The poor warthog squealed in surprise, darting away as fast as its legs could carry it. Barry, oblivious to the chaos he caused, simply stood up and continued on his way, leaving a trail of bewildered animals in his wake. "Can't you be more careful?" roared Leo, after narrowly avoiding a falling beehive thanks to Barry. The beehive had landed squarely on Barry's head, covering him in sticky honey and buzzing bees. Leo sighed deeply, wondering how much more of this he could take. Later, during a royal address, Barry tried to hold a giant leaf umbrella over Leo. It was an important moment, and Barry wanted to make sure Leo was shaded from the harsh sun. But the leaf was almost as big as Barry himself, and he struggled to keep it steady. A gust of wind blew it away. The giant leaf soared through the air, twisting and turning before finally descending. It landed on Leo's head, completely covering him. The gathered animals gasped. Leo stood still, his regal mane now hidden beneath the enormous leaf. The jungle fell silent, all eyes on the lion. "Oops," Barry whispered, sheepishly retrieving the leaf. He tried to be as gentle as possible, but the damage was done. Leo's mane was a mess, and his expression was one of pure frustration. Leo emerged, face covered in leaves, fuming. He shook his head, trying to rid himself of the foliage, but it only made things worse. The other animals couldn't help but stifle their giggles. "You're lucky you're kind of funny," he growled. Barry just grinned. Despite all the trouble he caused, Barry's heart was always in the right place. And Leo knew it. He couldn't help it. He was living the dream. For Barry, every day in the jungle was an adventure, filled with laughter, friendship, and the occasional mishap. And despite everything, Leo wouldn't have it any other way. Despite his clumsiness, Barry did have his moments of brilliance. When a sneaky snake tried to attack Leo, Barry tripped over it, sending it flying into a tree. Leo, initially annoyed, had to admit, "Well, at least you're useful as a tripping hazard." Another time, a group of mischievous monkeys started pelting them with fruit. Barry, used to foraging for berries, caught all the fruit in his mouth, much to the monkeys' amazement. Leo, impressed, patted Barry's head with his tail. "Not bad for a big oaf," he conceded. As days turned into weeks, Leo and Barry settled into a routine. It wasn't the kind of routine you'd expect from a lion and a bear living in the jungle. Their days were filled with unexpected adventures and spontaneous moments that kept them on their toes. A routine filled with chaos, sure, but also with laughter. They would often find themselves in the most absurd situations, like getting stuck in a tree or chasing after a mischievous monkey. But through it all, they laughed and enjoyed each other's company. Leo realized that having Barry around wasn't so bad. In fact, he started to appreciate Barry's quirky sense of humor and his unwavering loyalty. Barry, despite his clumsiness, had a heart of gold. And Barry? He was having the time of his life. For the first time, he felt like he belonged somewhere. The jungle was no longer just a place to survive. It was a place to thrive, thanks to his friendship with Leo. One evening, as they watched the sunset, Leo said, "You know, Barry, you're a menace, but you're my menace." Barry smiled, touched. It was in that moment that they both realized how much they had come to mean to each other. He may not have been the best bodyguard, but he had found something better, a friend. Their bond was something special, something that neither of them had expected, but both had come to cherish deeply. And that, they both knew, was worth more than all the royal treasures in the jungle. Their friendship was a treasure in itself, a bond that would last a lifetime, filled with adventures, laughter, and an unbreakable connection.